Hello everyone, today I want to go over Bitcoin, do a little bit of a daily update, see what's going on, see the trades that I have taken that I had talked about in my last video, and then show you other trades that I've taken. So first of all, in the last video I was telling you not to short this whole rise right here, because this was a strong trend. Therefore, shorting would only probably result into losing money, which is what most people did. And I told you, if you want to short, wait at least for a market structure change. So as you can see, we put the high, then we put a low, then we put a lower high right here. And then when we broke this low, officially on the 30-minute time frame, we broke structure, which means that for the first time, this right here, I wouldn't really count. That's more of a liquidity grab to then continue. And this is more like a range, so I wouldn't really count as a break of market structure. But this right here, as you can see, we had the follow-up. So even if you, for example, I entered my short way lower because I woke up this morning and unfortunately the price was already at 120, 200, something like this. But anyways, this is what I was saying that you want to see right here, this type of pattern. So once that happens, you can just put your trade on, you can put your stop loss above the high, and then you can target lower prices. The first target for me was 116, which is what we got this morning. Actually, let me show you my account. I didn't take big trades compared to what I normally do. So you can see here I have a pretty small position, which is still in nice profits with entry at 120. Now the price is 117 and making nothing, like 400 bucks. And then actually the one that I want to talk about right now is, as this was my first target, instead of taking profit, which is the whole thing I was talking about in my other video, so go watch that one if you don't understand. Instead of taking profits, I took a long, not just because that was one of the targets, but because I think it's a possible place for a bounce. The thing is, I'm actually more interested in seeing another move down. So what I want to see is this. Perhaps during market open, this would be the best. So 3:30 for European friends, 9:30 if you're in New York, and I don't know where else you might be. But anyways, what we want to see is a little wick down, taking out all these early longs, then a little reclaim, and then this here would be the long trade. But I simply just took it because I'm in a short, so I don't really care what happens, to be honest. Even if I get stopped out, even if we keep going down, I have my short trade, so I don't really care because I'm gonna keep printing. So as I showed you, my long trade right here at 116, and I have my short trade. So if this gets stopped out, I don't really care. I'm gonna keep making money on this one. Here size is a little bit bigger, and I do intend on adding a little bit more, probably another 0.25, if we make this move that I talked about here. If we don't, and this keeps going up, great. I have a long trade from the bottom, I have a short trade from the top, I'm in the best position that you can be in. So in that case, I wouldn't mind at all. But anyways, so this is the first long trade that I'm interested in. Then, as we said, this is the short trade that I talked about in my last video. I hope you took it. I didn't give a signal, but I mean, I pretty much explained exactly what you wanted to see, and that's exactly what happened. So for a new short trade, what I would be looking for is a bounce. So actually this would be the perfect scenario because maybe we can get another long setup right here that I talked about, bring this up to here, and this is the area where I would be looking to add onto my short. Again, all of these are based on reactions. Don't forget that. I've talked about this in my other video. So this is the short that we had. Then this is now the long that I took, about 116,800. Stop loss, I'm keeping it below 115 just in case we go and do whatever I just talked about. And then for the short trade, I'm gonna wait for this. Again, stop loss is an estimation because if we go here and we just flip it into support and keep going up, I'm not gonna take the short trade. But here, if we come and reject a couple of times, I will be pulling the trigger for it. And honestly, if we lose this area, I would be interested in this low right here. So about 115 to 114. We do also have a naked point of control, which I'm not going to explain what it is right now, but perhaps I'll make other videos in the future. All right, so to add onto this support right here, at 115, we have this daily naked point of control. Plus the liquidity, I would say this is another good point to bounce right here. So yeah, in case we lose this level right here, we can target here, the naked point of control. So yeah, next interesting point would be this naked point of control at 115 along with the liquidity. So we can look for something like this, once again, based on the reaction, and target new all-time high. And then if we lose this, which we don't really want to see, we would look for the trade setup that I was talking about in the last video, where we go below all-time high. Everybody thinks like, okay, it's finished, whatever, let's all go short. If you see a lot of shorts opening here, that's where you take the long. And you can see that on Exo charts on this platform that I was showing before. Obviously, you have to have a template. Perhaps I can share these in the future. So, for example, right, the reason why I did not like initially this long is because if you go and see, you have 61 million of volume and 10 million people that went long. So overall here, there was longs. What you want to see is not longs, it's shorts. You want to see people going short at support, and that helps your bias of taking a long trade, which is kind of what happened here. So the second time right here, all these longs get stopped out because people put their stop loss right below here. You come and take the stop losses here. I like it more, even though we still had like 10 million longs. And by the way, here you can see we had also 10 million shorts. So trap shorts at support. Here is where I would take the long, and here is where I took it. Unfortunately, I saw it a bit late, so I had to take it here. So yeah, that's what you want to see basically. And that's why I took a long. So once again, when we get, imagine this is when we get below all-time high. If you start seeing a lot of longs, that's not good. Most likely we're gonna break the support and keep going lower. And in that case, we can expect a much lower retracement, perhaps to 90,000, 80,000. Or I don't know, I'm just giving a random target for a big drop. But if you start seeing this, so let's say you see the longs coming in first, and then you see a sweep of this low with shorts, that's where you take the long. I really like this one actually, because I think it would really fake a lot of people out, and a lot of people will get out of the market, and a lot of people would be liquidated. So this I really, really like. So I just gave you quite a lot of trades. Once again, these are all reactionary. So do not like set orders, do not randomly trade these. If you don't know how to trade, just basically wait for me to say like, okay, yeah, I took a long trade. Because trust me, you don't want to take these randomly. Because this can easily just go like boom, and then you have a position that you open here, maybe you don't even have a stop loss, and all of a sudden you're at 100K. So yeah, I was saying, unless this happens right here, this would start looking really bearish, because then we would have a huge failed auction, and you don't really want to see that for a bullish breakout. If we want to stay with the bullish momentum, we honestly want to see 114 hold. Otherwise, I would start getting a little bit sus. But yeah, my preferred swing trade is this right here that I just talked about. To sum it up, first, right now I'm in this short trade. This is the first trade I took. Then now at the moment, I did not close my short trade at all. This, I am willing to literally just not take any profits and perhaps target 100 or 90K or maybe even lower, who knows, with time. If we put in the top right here, which I don't think it's the top, but still, if we did, I will have a great short from 120. Basically, I shorted the top if this was the top. Then trade number 2 that I just took now is this one right here at basically 116,800, something like this. But however, I would like to see a second move to touch this anchor VWAP, which hasn't been touched yet. Also, on another exchange, I think it was Coinbase, the low right here, it has not been taken. So it would be nice to see another move down, take the lows, probably into New York Open, and then get the move up. Then my third trade would be this short trade right here. Even though I kind of wanted to see the anchor VWAP lining up with this point of control. So I don't really like it as much anymore, but still I will take it into consideration based on the reaction. Because consider also we would not take these highs right here. So this would be lower high, lower low, lower high right here, and for another lower low. So yeah, that would be my third trade. Fourth trade would be this long right here, where we go and take the liquidity over here onto the naked point of control, reclaim, take the long. And then my final fifth favorite trade, I think, which would really be awesome, is this one right here that I just talked about. Again, we want to see a move below all-time high, so which was 112. Got all these people bearish right here, a lot of shorts opening, and then once we reclaim all-time high, you take the long. Honestly, if this happens, I would go pretty heavy, probably 3, 4, 5 Bitcoins, which would be like $500,000 of a position, and put my stop loss. Obviously, doesn't mean that it's going to happen. This might happen, and then you get another fake out to the upside, and then it goes down, and then I lose the trade. Whatever, I take a loss. It happens. And yeah, this would be my preferred scenario, to be honest. But keep in mind, I will repeat it one last time, losing all this strength right here would show a lot of weakness, and that's not what we want to see. So either way, I don't care because I have my short trade from here. So let's say, I told you I'm not closing my short trade. So even if all these long trades fail, let's say literally price does this, boom, fail, 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 fail. I don't care. I literally have my short trade. I'm going to keep making money on that short trade. So yeah, doesn't matter to me. We can even go back to 20,000. I don't care. I have my short trade. I'm protected, and you should have yours too. I just want to show you a couple of trades that I gave in my last video. So yeah, I really gave an awesome call. Unfortunately, I did not get filled on this. So this was my idea. It was this flip that I was talking about onto the anchor VWAP right here, which is exactly what happened. We went up, back down, boom, massive pump. I told you target was 4, and we literally touched 4 exactly. So very unfortunate that I couldn't get the long, but it is what it is. AVAX, same type of movement. You could have taken the same exact long. I don't remember if I talked about this one. Same thing, support, the anchor VWAP, boom, pump. I am still waiting for this setup right here that I talked about. The only thing I wanted to mention is we might not get it, only because if you see here, we've been putting just lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. This would require to change the market structure, which would be nice eventually for a long trade, because we would change the market structure, and then perhaps we do still get a retracement, but then here I would be looking for a long to take this higher. But if we don't take this high, we might not get this setup at all, because this could be the high right now for this lower high right here. So who knows? We shall see. And then I think, yeah, when we have hype went to almost 50. I told you not to short this. And again, if we get a big failed auction right here, where we go below all-time high, unless we get the same setup as Bitcoin, you can take a short trade here. I think this would look good. Market structure wise, to be honest, we did have a change of market structure. So you could, if you want to be aggressive, you could be taking this short trade to target lower targets, which I'm not going to look at now. But yeah, this would be a valid short trade. Aggressive, but valid. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that is it. Ethereum, we can look at really quickly. Same thing for Ethereum, I've been saying for a while. Either you can look for, by the way, again, Ethereum was also a valid short trade here on the loss of this anchor VWAP and market structure change. If you wanted to be protected, I didn't take it because I took a short trade on Bitcoin, but here it was also valid. Even though I think Ethereum to Bitcoin here is starting to look more bullish. So that's also why I don't want to take a short trade on Ethereum, because we could see a drop on Bitcoin finally and Ethereum catching up and going up. Especially because here, once again, we are at this monthly resistance. So if we flip this and start doing this as Bitcoin falls, we might be able to see Ethereum moving up whilst Bitcoin moves down. So I'm not going to take this short trade, but this is valid. You can take it. If we do see a bigger drop, I already talked about it. My most interesting trades would be here, 2,800, or no, this is not looking as good anymore. No, yeah, this is still valid. 2,500 would be another swing long. And again, my target is 3,300. Flip this. Let's go to 4,000 quickly. Yeah, that's about it. Honestly, I think I've covered most stuff. I think the most important right now is Bitcoin, as it's the one that's moving the most. And then last thing I want to show you, I did finally put $30,000 into this strategy right here, which is a bit more aggressive and a bit more risky. You can see there are some months where you can do 30% in a month, 27%, 16%. But at the same time, obviously, it's much more risky than the other one. As you can see, there's some months where you can lose 10%, 6%, or 6% here. The drawdown also, obviously, it's bigger. So if we go see the drawdown, you still have drawdowns that go up to 23, 25%. Obviously, this doesn't mean that in a month you lose 25%. It means like from the peak that you've reached, that's how much you've lost. But yeah, I mean, equity curve still looking great, still beating the index by a nice amount. This one has been operating since almost 2024, so only 1 year and a half. But yeah, it's looking good. I really like this because there is a lot of trades that are being taken. I think in a month, so for example, since July, where it's been operating really well, actually, it's done already 12% in 2 weeks. There have been already 400 trades. So you can see this takes much more trades. It trades altcoins. It's nice. So yeah, I put 30,000, and I'll keep you updated on how it works, how it performs. But if you're interested and you already want to take the risk with me, you can contact me, and I'll let you try it out.